Yes, blessings, y'all. I just returned to New York City, well, last night really, and started my fast yesterday. So today is now day 2 for me of Just Juice January officially. And I just wanted to send y'all some love and encouragement. I was just teaching the children, and, today, in this class, which is pretty much a hip hop class, teaching different principles through hip hop. And the theme was unity. And, in unity, it is a togetherness, but it's also a certain level of oneness. It's a formation, right? And, it was really interesting even thinking about how a lot of us, we have different parts of our bodies, and the best way that the body works is in harmony, when everything is, singing together, moving together, functioning on one accord. And so we have to definitely be aware of whenever there is any sort of imbalance or dysfunction inside of our vessel. And a lot of times that's going to not only affect the mental and the spirit, but it also could be an underlying cause. So, with that being said, definitely as we're doing this fast, be aware of your energy and think about how we pull energy in different ways, not just from the things that we eat or consume through our mouth, but also how we consume information and light and breath and sound. All of that is important. There is music, there is sounds that possess certain frequencies, and we don't realize that the sound pollution and the light pollution can play a big effect on how our mood is, on how our energy level is, right? For example, if you go into work out in a gym that happens to have fluorescent lights, as opposed to taking a run outside and getting that natural sunlight. That natural sunlight is always going to beat out any other lighting, because that's our main source of vitamin D. That's our main input when it comes to getting that vitamin D that the body needs in order to break down nutrients efficiently, in order to have a certain or maintain certain energy levels, right? And just also to prevent certain illnesses and infections, diseases, flus. So, definitely this is going to be a very sensitive time for anybody who is doing anything out of their normal routine, especially if you are starting the year after a lot of overindulgence. If you're starting the year after a lot of drinking, after a lot of drug use, whatever the case may be, once again, the goal is to cleanse, So we are healing the body. We are allowing cellular regeneration while we rid ourselves of the cells and the tissues that are no longer needed, so that they can regenerate, so that our bodies can recuperate, so that our spirit can elevate. So it's so important that we are very cognizant of all of these things. So today, specifically, I have not had anything at all, but I feel very energized, and it's my second day. Usually on my first, second, third day, I feel kind of beat, right? I didn't drink no water, no tea, no nothing yet. And, I tell you, I attested first to mindfulness. The second thing I attested to is focus. The third thing is purpose. And all three of these things really play hand in hand, but let me break it down. So mindfulness is knowing that, I'm aware that these things have not entered me, but I am not going to allow my mind to derail me from the things that I'm focused on. So my focus right now with this fast and with this day is to make sure that I'm being very practical with myself and my energy, but also knowing, yo, if I don't need it, I don't need it. So that goes back into the mindfulness, but the focus is when it comes down to being very specific and very intentional. And then the purpose. Well, today I have a few different jobs, going and teaching these children, which was beautiful, and then helping to put on an event later today. And it's like, that's the purpose. A lot of times, people are purposely, like these children, they're looking forward to lunch. They're looking forward to the next meal. And that's great. And not saying that we shouldn't eat, but it's like, how much are we consuming, and are we over consuming? Are we taking things in that are really detrimental to our cellular health? Are we really allowing our body to regenerate itself based on any ailments or diseases we may have? Are we practicing fasting like a lot of these spiritual practices or religions talk about? And unfortunately, we've deviated from this practice, which I believe should be a normal thing, especially in a world right now where we have so many toxins in the air, so many pollutants, so many toxins in the food, in the lotions and the soaps and all of these things. So we got to definitely be practical with how we treating our lives. And with that being said, I want to challenge you today, to really be very particular. Look up the mineral intake on anything that you're putting in your body. There's this really cool app that I actually my nephew showed me. This really cool app called Yuka or Yucca. I don't know how it's pronounced, but me and my big bro like to say Yucca, so it kind of stuck with me. But it's YUKA, and on this app, you can scan barcodes of products, and you can see the toxic ingredients, even if you don't want to read it for yourself on the actual package. But it will show you, it will give you a breakdown, and it will give you a rating. So I definitely want y'all to check that out. I also just want to encourage you to continue to work on the oxygen flow, your breath, you know what I'm saying? Continue to think about how, okay, there's not food going in the body, but what is this breath looking like when it enters the body? How am I breathing it out? All of that is energy. And so when we're able to hone into our energy and really focus, we can be more intentional. And then therefore, the breath that we're taking in has more purpose. So going back to purpose, a big purpose for me this whole month is to really be on my breathing. No shallow breathing, making sure that I'm taking that deep dive breath, and as I'm breathing out, I'm letting every single ounce of air leave my body. All right? Well, it's day 5 for some of y'all, day 2 for me. I'm just really excited for us in this new calendar year. And so I also wanted to say one more thing too. People say like, all right, this is a Gregorian calendar, and we are not supposed to be manifesting during the winter because plants don't grow during the winter and the bear's hibernating, yada, yada, yada. I just think that's so silly. First of all, we are the gods of this earth, of this planet. You should be manifesting every moment you got, because the Most High gave us breath in our body and an opportunity to get it today, not to wait for no new year, no new month, no new week, right now. You feel me? So don't let nobody trick you into you have to be one with the seasons and all of that. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is knowing that the zodiacs, the religions, the human design, they all operate under you. You feel me? Like, you are truly the you're the bigger conduit. You are what influences this. And why do I say that? Because it was us who put ideas to these things. You feel me? Like even the books, whether it's the Bible, Quran, whatever you want to say, men wrote that. And that's not to say that men are bad. That's just to say that we don't always have the answers. And I think the biggest scripture that you could look for is the scripture within. You feel me? So really go within yourself and take some time today to just meditate and hear the Most High speaking through you. Like, what is you trying to manifest right now? Just because it's the winter time don't mean we got to hibernate like no bear. That don't make no sense. You're supposed to be getting it every day as long as you got breath in your body. So with that being said, be encouraged and inspired. Love y'all to life. Stay rooted. Bless.